Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Swede Rolls. This is Chris.
I'm Toby.
And our guests today are...
Louise.
And Andreas.
Yes. Louise, you were in our previous episode last week about gender, sex, and identity. And Andreas, you will be in the next one as well. But for now, this is the first time you're here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, welcome. I know you as the red dragon. Well, you're not red anymore, right?
I'm purple.
You're a purple dragon now.
What?
We met through a LARP.
Yeah, we're LARPers.
Okay. Yeah, we're LARPers. So today's episode is going to be about success and or failure in role-playing games. And I think that's a pretty controversial topic for many of our American listeners.
How come?
Because Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a fun game.
Yeah, it is a fun game, but it's very much the players versus the game master in a lot of ways.
Yes.
In my opinion, anyway. But we're going to get to that in a little bit, because first of all, I wanted to ask you guys, and Toby too, of course, and me, what is... Actually, let's start, Andreas. What is your best role-playing memory experience that you just think about?
I think it was like last time we played Vampire,
All right.
when I sort of sliced and diced a ghoul as my Assamite.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
You made shish kebab out of them. That's
and it was
for
a
sure.
good shish kebab.
It was. And then I canceled the campaign.
Yeah.
You bastard.
I'm such an asshole.
That is.
I wanted to finish eating the queen. No, the prince.
Yeah. You will. You did. You diablerized her and she's gone forever.
Oh, that's good.
Great. So, what's your worst role-playing memory?
Oh, that's a hard topic. It was like when I was 13 when I started role-playing. Like our game master said to us when we were sleeping.
Yeah.
And in your sleep you see a dark figure entering and giving you a contract to more power. And I signed the contract and I gained power. I joined the evil side and I got dead. But that was not a bad topic. It was like every time I was a new guy, he always brought the dark contract every time.
Every time you made a new character.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the same thing. So he made you evil every time.
Not evil, like
No.
neutral,
yeah.
chaotic neutral,
Yeah.
and like all the alignments. But it was like, why are you doing this to me?
So
every time.
he made a very repetitive.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
Oh,
okay.
I can imagine. Yeah. We forgot to ask about your role-playing experience. How long have you been role-playing or LARPing? And
Role playing, I started when I was 13,
Yeah.
and this year will be 26. So about 13 years on and off.
yeah.
I started LARPing 2012.
Yeah. It's 5 years now. Jesus, I was gonna say 4.
I'm so old.
We are old, aren't
No,
we?
thanks.
Well,
No.
you're not old. No, you're a youngling.
I'm the same.
We're the same age.
You guys are
damn it.
26?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We're
Oh,
30.
crap.
I'm 31 this year. Jesus
You
Christ.
are old.
I am very old. I feel old. Toby, you're 30.
No, I'm
You're
going to be
29.
29 this year.
I'm the only one past 30 here.
Yes.
You're
an old
Martin needs to
bastard.
come in here.
Yes.
All right, so you've been LARPing and role-playing for quite some time then.
Yeah.
So both of you, you've had some experience with good GMs, with less good GMs. Have you ever felt that was unfair when you've been playing, Louise?
That was unfair. Probably more times than I remember.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really get along with my with one of my GMs that
Yeah.
I had a long time ago now. But usually, just because that person liked to pick favorites, he would never admit it if you asked, and I got to be the favorite sometimes. But no, I didn't like that at all. I noticed that some characters, as well as players, could be the favorite, and that's...
What did that mean? Like they got more attention? Or?
Yeah, they got more attention. The coolest players gave them stuff, or maybe fell in love with them, or anything.
Wait, he made the players fall in love with them? Or?
No.
Oh, NPC.
His NPCs, the coolest. He was always the coolest characters himself.
Oh, yeah,
one or
course.
two
Of
levels
course.
above, and
Of
then
course.
that one
Yeah.
could pick favorites as well. So it was just not only that he picked them, but his characters in the game, his NPCs picked his favorites.
And you, Andreas, have you been unfairly treated by your GM?
Probably,
Well, I mean, except
probably the same
Yeah.
that I said last.
yeah.
But that GM was pretty like a dictator.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't have your phone on, and so that's not. I can understand that, but when I got like a text from my mother, I couldn't answer it and say, "But I'm gonna be a bit late," and so on. We didn't have smartphones.
No,
we
no,
had
well,
like
still, yeah.
the
The
bricks.
old, the old ones, yeah.
The
Yeah.
140 character SMS. Cell phones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those, dark ages.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I can understand why he'd do it because of immersion and stuff like that.
yeah.
But you didn't have smartphones. What were you gonna do? Play Snake on it?
and like my buttons was like you could hear when I
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh god. An old Nokia, right?
Nokia 30,
Yeah.
3310.
Yep, that's a classic.
That's a classic.
Indestructible bastards.
Yeah. What about you, Toby? When did you get treated unfairly by people other than me? Don't
Well,
bring up me.
Let's see now. How I got treated unfairly by a GM specifically?
Oh yeah, or
I mean,
yeah.
let's see now. There's always been some cases of when there's clearly an like a quest item or like a specific item that one of the characters are supposed to get. But then there's always one small other character who's very likes to take things, and then
is this the same person who plays the thieving woman?
Sometimes.
Yeah, okay.
and
From 2 sessions ago.
yeah,
1 session.
yes. So once there was like, okay, here's a questing item, basically.
Yeah.
He's already figured out, like, okay, this character is gonna get it. It's gonna be soulbound to the person and blah, blah, blah. And then one of the very thieving characters nabs it, and he's like, let's roll with it. And it's like, hang on, just because you wanted to play this character that likes to like very curious and likes to take and look at things and or steal things, the campaign becomes entirely different because this person has done this, and there's no way in the planning that the GM has made for this. So he's like, okay, let's try this out then. And it's not the same person like every time, but it's happened once or twice that
So it's more of a case of being unfair to the GM? Or?
no, it's more of a case like this is obviously a thing for
that he
this
wants
person.
you to do, a MacGuffin.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. Then suddenly it's like, okay, that part is kind of ruined, and then it's like, okay, that wasn't really great.
But isn't that what players are want to do if they want to ruin their campaign? Have you guys ever been unfair to the GMs when you've been playing? Like, I'm not going to do what they tell me to.
Well, the GM I've played with the longest really encouraged that sort of behavior because he's really anti-railroading and wants the player to be really independent, and even encourages the players to fight each other actively. So that's not really a problem. I don't know. Have I treated you?
No. I don't think I've ever been treated unfairly by you
then
guys.
I don't think I've done that. No.
All right. Andreas, have you ever felt that way? That you should cut him a
me
break?
as a player has been unfair to
Yeah,
GM.
you should cut him some slack. You know.
I don't think so. Like, if I don't count the dictator GM, I only had you and 2 more.
Yeah.
And it depends, like, if they were like slacking on rules, it went just boring. Then I'm like, hey, look up the rules and do some shit.
Yeah.
It was like weird talk that you can do everything.
Yeah.
You can do everything. That's
But-
not okay.
Yeah, but do you feel like games are at their best or worst if it's like the players versus the game master? Like, how do you feel that kind of relationship?
I think that probably kind of has to be established in like before the role-playing session begins. If he says like, okay, just go do whatever, we'll roll with whatever happens.
All right.
But even though some situations you can always like something happens in a small town or something, and you start some things in a hamlet or whatever, then it's like, okay, yeah, it would be kind of fun to see what escalates from this situation.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's
Testing
like,
the
okay,
water,
this is obviously you're supposed to go here. And then I've been in some groups where it's like, let's go this way, not that way. We'll go the opposite
Let's
way.
ruin the campaign. For
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's like, okay, all the planning the GM has done is like out the window.
So what do we learn from that? Like not ever plan anything for your group, or?
It's very improvised, lots of things.
Oh yeah.
So it becomes more like, instead of a web or anything, it's like key points, bullet points of like, this happens if they go there and this happens if they go there. And we have lots of options of doing things. But I have never actually wandered off and done my own shit on my own behalf.
All right.
Mostly because I wanted to see like where this campaign can go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like you guys are very lenient with me as the GM because technically your character Louise, for example, she didn't really have much of a reason to hang around with the
No.
other guys later, and you as well. You didn't really have to hang. You know, we kind of shoehorned you in, Andreas, with your assassinating Linda's sire, and but you've just rolled with it. You know, you haven't been like, no, I don't want to do that.
I have.
But I think that's, you know, it's all about the respect for the GM, because I know that you based the campaign on a pre-written story, and so it's I see it as my responsibility and my contribution to the game to follow that story if that's the case, because I know I've been the game master too at times, and I know it takes a lot of work, you know. And you don't want to sit there and plan 3 different options every time. You can, of course, but I think you should be thankful that the game master actually takes the time to sit down and plan your game and gives you that experience. So I wouldn't ruin the game for everyone.
No.
Well, it's same here. I've been a GM. It's hard work.
It is, yeah.
If you take the vampire campaign, I've always been like the magician and
Yep.
the wizardy, smoking pipes
Yeah, yeah.
stuff. And I want to try something else.
Yeah.
I like warriors. When I do MMOs, role-playing games on my Xbox, like Warrior. But I want to try Rogue Assassin because I recently seen the Assassin's Creed movie.
Is it any good?
Yeah, me and Louise, well, she didn't like it. I liked it.
Okay.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's still out there, 50-50.
Is it
50-50.
Yeah.
Is it as repetitive as the games?
No,
Okay.
No.
good. Then it has one upside.
but it has some plot holes. But it's a good action movie.
As if the games didn't have plot holes.
I wouldn't know.
But it's worse. I think I played many of the Assassin's Creed games. This movie has major plot holes.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
great.
I think I would have some trouble enjoying it then. But if it's good in action, I might, you know.
But like the costumes and like how they did the animus.
Yeah.
If anyone has played
Oh,
the
yeah,
game,
yeah, the machine.
that was
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, I mean, you're trying out a new character. You're playing a rogue, and I think you did a good job out of it. You really but you did a lot of research. You asked a lot of good questions. Like a lot of people, a lot of players don't ask the GM questions. They go like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna play my own version." But you were like, "Okay, what can I do? Where could I be from?" Stuff like that. And that's, as a GM, I really appreciated that.
Example, I was in a role-playing session last night.
Oh,
We were playing Star Wars.
ooh,
I was
the
recent.
D20 version or
I'm a Jedi or
Oh,
like
cool.
a Padawan,
cool.
and I didn't know exactly like use the Force rule. So like, can I do this? But here is the book, the core book and the rules. But here is what you can do. So I'm like, okay, I do this. Good job. So
Okay.
give the GM some slack.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff to keep in mind. I'm reading the changeling rule book, and like thing about pacts, like making contracts, it's like 20 pages. It's like there's no fucking way I'm remembering all of this. And you can go into dreams, and I'm like, fuck.
I might do a changeling assassin.
Well, you can be that, absolutely.
Yeah, Changeling is one of the games which my role-playing group hasn't done, because some of us was like, okay, this would be fun to try, but then the GM says, no. And it's like, okay, don't you want to GM this? No, because it would be weird.
Which changeling, the old or the new one?
The new one.
Okay, well, the new one is vastly superior to the old one.
No, okay. Yeah, so for me, I've never had
In my
experience with any of the Changeling games.
Well, we're not going to talk a lot about Changeling, but it is relevant because we have 2 players here who will be playing.
Soon to be
three players,
soon to
actually.
be
3
players.
players. Sorry, I'm myself included. And Changeling, it was supposed to be one of those limited run games, you know, like Promethean and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
it was so popular that they made another 5 books.
Interesting.
It is probably the best setting they've ever made, because it's very mature, it's very deep, and the lore is pretty good. That's what I've heard. I have only read the rule book so far.
Okay,
So,
But it was
but I'm
interesting.
reading.
Yeah, it's
I'm reading.
interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I think you need to make a good rule book in order to
Yeah.
pull your players in.
Exactly.
Like, it's,
and I was kind of railroading this
yeah.
into going into the storytelling system, which is the World of Darkness. Because World of Darkness, this might just be wishful thinking on my part, but it's way more about creating a cooperative story than other games. Like in some games, the GM, he controls all the NPCs, he controls the monsters in the dungeon. You have to kill the monsters, so it kind of turns into players versus GM, right?
Yeah.
And some GMs. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm just sorry, just a noob question here. World of Darkness, is that like the core rules
that is the
for
core rules.
vampire, changeling,
Werewolf, mage, wraith, all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Also
It's
Exalted?
the
Exalted.
setting of where all these kinds of creatures.
Exalted is way in the past.
Okay, but it's the same sort of.
Yeah, World of Darkness is. I guess I should call it White Wolf because that's the publishing company.
Yeah. Okay.
But
good.
World of Darkness is old and there's new.
Yeah,
We
okay.
played Vampire in the old and
Yes.
Changeling is in the new. They're different worlds, but
Yeah,
similar.
I've played Vampire in the new too, so I
yeah.
think I've seen a bit
Yeah,
of the changes. Okay, thank you.
No worries. We're throwing around a lot of lingo here, and we're kind of gonna put up a lexicon on the website.
Oh crap!
I'll do that.
No,
You don't have to do it.
Fine.
But if there's any things, we're just gonna address the listeners here. If there's anything you don't understand that we're talking about, just drop a comment and we'll explain it. No worries.
Ask away.
Ask us. We really like questions. But yeah, I mean, World of Darkness is way more cooperative. This is all my opinion, because my experience with Dungeons and Dragons is not super great. I GM'd 4th edition a while, and all the pre-made adventures were extremely. Here's the town with like 2 pages of information about the town, and then here's 30 pages of random encounters in a dungeon.
Oh my god.
And just go 5 feet, kick in a door. Oh, a bunch of monsters. You fight them. 5 feet, kick in a door. Oh, a slime monster. 5 feet, kick in a door. Terrible game.
But I've tried the pre-made adventures for edition 3.5.
Oh,
And those are a lot shorter.
yeah,
Could
probably
recommend
better.
them.
Probably better too, because 4th edition. I don't know about your experience with it, Andreas, but
I haven't played like many Dungeons and Dragons. I was supposed to be in Skype in a role playing group,
yeah.
but they didn't have good microphones, and I couldn't hear the GM or the other players. But I was supposed to be a Dragonborn sorcerer.
Okay, 4th edition, right?
No, 5th.
Oh, 5th edition. That's better, I've heard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've,
Less rule heavy, I think.
yeah, I've been looking at Critical Role on YouTube.
Oh, that's good. That's fun.
Yeah. I took inspiration from Tiberius
Cool.
Stormborn, also a Dragonborn sorcerer.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we live in such an interesting time. I mean, this is a podcast about role-playing games.
Yes.
20 years ago, who would have thought?
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
A bunch of satanic rituals. And
oh my
candles.
god. Yeah, Sweden in the 90s about role-playing
You
games.
sounded
And the
like my
80s.
mother.
Yeah.
And the 80s, yeah.
Yeah.
When Cult was released, there was a shitstorm.
Oh yes.
It
It was.
And there were the vampire murders in the early 2000s, I think.
Yeah,
You remember those?
It was a very weird time because I know in the beginning of my role playing career, my parents were like, "Don't do that.
Oh yeah, mine were too. Yeah.
Don't do that. You
gonna
know,
be
weird
satanic."
things happen."
Yeah.
And it just became like, "No, I'm gonna do it anyway."
Yeah, exactly.
I'm such a rebel.
I mean, Dungeons and Dragons can be much better. Absolutely. I think that if you try to pay more attention to the players and the story, which unfortunately, and this is not just something Dungeons and Dragons does. I've looked through Eclipse Phase.
Yeah, I've
Eclipse
played it
Phase is
too.
the science fiction,
yeah.
way into the future. You can build your own bodies, and every single pre-made adventure is a cookie cutter running hunting monsters in a fucking spaceship. It is terrible.
But
That
it
sounds-
sounds pretty good.
The setting is
to me.
amazing. I love the setting.
Yeah, I love
but
the
they did
setting too.
nothing good with the pre-made adventures. And I'm like, how hard is it? Really?
Yeah, it's really good. weird because the setting is so perfect for adventures, short adventures, where you end up killing every character basically, because of the
it's supposed to be horror.
And because you can always come back to life, although you might not remember things. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's great.
I've heard so many good things about that setting.
It's amazing.
It's wonderful.
It's, when you explain it, like the pre-made scenarios are really bad. Yeah. It's like, why did they do that?
How do you fuck it up? Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's just the fact that the Eclipse Phase setting is a kind of cool setting you'd like to read about in a book, but it's not easy to roll.
Oh, it's the perfect setting for like someone to write their own stories, what happens in their campaigns.
But it's also really immersive, and you're inspired by it, really inspired, I would say, as a player. But it's so detailed that it's difficult. It's difficult to role play. It's difficult to learn anything. It's so complicated.
Yeah. Oh, God. I just completely lost my track of mind. But yeah, I think it's hard to find a good balance between a GM helping the players and giving them a challenge. But let's talk about bad luck, because we've all been there, right?
Oh boy,
bad luck in games.
Yes.
How do you feel about you're gonna do something cool, right? You're an assassin or you're a socialite, and you go into a setting and you're like, okay, I'm gonna sneak into this room and I'm gonna steal the documents, and you botch the first roll. You botch it so badly that you break the stone you're walking on or whatever. How does that make you feel?
When I start first session with my Asamite assassin, I was like, I'm gonna die the first thing that happens, because I've had such a terrible luck with dice.
Yeah.
And then last time I did shish kebab, and it was getting better and better and better. Have I got like the miracle dice or what is it?
What's the catch here?
Yeah.
But that felt good, right? It felt
that was feeling about. Oh my God, I can kill stuff.
How would you have felt if you botched one of those rolls? Like if you were gonna cut someone up and you just threw your sword away by accident.
Well, I don't know. But, oh damn it!
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
would it have ruined your game?
No.
It would have probably been an entirely different story.
That's true.
It was like if I failed to diabolize when I jumped on the prince's back and started eating, and that would have failed, I might have gotten so hurt there, would soon die, and someone would have to help me.
Yeah.
That's fun also.
It's a fun risk, right?
It's a fun risk. It's like in LARP. I was almost killed in autumn.
Yeah. During the LARP,
During the LARP, and that's my longest character ever.
And you felt a little bit sad.
I was so paranoid by walking back to camp to our druid, like, heal me, goddammit!
Yeah, so it's fun with the challenge, the risk of failing. Yeah.
It's like a mental state. Like, you think in your character's mind about, okay, I was holding my sword about, I'm gonna kill everything that comes near me.
Yeah. And Louise, I mean, your first couple of sessions with Vampire, a lot of times you botched, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you fucked up a lot.
Yeah, and I remember you being really worried that I wasn't having fun because of it. Yeah, but to me, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. I knew I did botch a few rolls, but I couldn't really remember now when I was thinking about it. What did I do? But then I remember, I made a whole tavern just,
hate
leave.
You?
They hated me. And that wasn't the point, but I'm not my character, so it's not really.
Sucks to be her,
Yeah, exactly. But also, I think she was sort of a serious character. She wanted to be cool in that moment, so it's sort of fun just to mess with her.
Yeah. Just Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
That's fun too, right? When skadeglädje, you take a step back and you look at your roll and go, ha ha.
Yeah, because it's not me failing, it's her.
Yeah.
So laugh and point.
So basically, failure is just another option of success.
Yeah.
For me, I always like things go really, really wrong, because that makes, okay, how does this character react in this? What would the character react in this way?
God, you played some pretty weird characters.
Yes, I have. In one of our what is it now? In one of our vampire campaigns.
Yeah, we played a lot.
Yeah, we played a lot. But in a recent one, it was quite a lot of years ago.
When you were a Venture?
Yes.
Oh God.
I was a Venture, and suddenly, like, we were sneaking in a warehouse in a dock district.
Oh yeah, and you fucked it up, and
Yes.
a dog came. Yeah.
No, a guard came.
A guard came. Like, who are you?
So I made the best of the situation to stick a pen in his eye.
Yeah, you shove a pen into his eye. Yeah,
Yes.
that was. Everyone was just like, did that just happen? Like the controlled gentleman Ventru just shoved a pen right into the eye of a guy.
It was very like, oh crap, what happened?
Yeah.
That's also one of the things when you fail a roll.
Yeah, because if you had succeeded sneaking,
Yes,
he wouldn't have found
nothing
you.
of that
He
would have
wouldn't have
happened.
died. It was his
No,
fault.
and everyone would have had a really different opinion of that
Yeah.
person. And then they're like, okay, in a stressful situation, he'll stick a pen in someone's eye. Let's not get him into a stressful
Yeah,
situation.
exactly.
I played a role-playing game that's called Monster of the Week.
Okay.
It's a game you play like everyone has seen like Supernatural,
Yeah.
Constantine, and Buffy the Vampire
yeah,
Slayer,
yeah.
and those things. You're hunters, like
Yeah,
hunting monsters.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you fail a roll, like botch, you get an experience point. So if you have like 7 experience, you level up. You gain a new feat or skill.
Oh.
It's not that it encourages botching, but it gives something.
Oh yeah.
That's really
Oh.
good because I mean you do gain experience from failing. You know
Yeah.
what not to do.
Yeah.
As a fellow teacher,
Yeah.
that's super important.
Yes.
Failing is oftentimes better than succeeding.
Oh, yes. You learn a lot
Yeah.
from mistakes.
Yeah. But have you ever found yourself fudging the die? Like, if you've been playing and you rolled really badly, did you ever be like, fuck it, and just said, like, not cheating, but like agreed that, I managed anyway, or I failed anyway, or
Altering the truth.
altering the truth, alternative truths,
Yes.
if you want to get political.
Never.
Never.
I don't cheat.
All right.
No.
I might have done something while playing, being the GM,
Yeah.
because to me then the most important thing is for my players to have a good time, and
Yeah.
if I constantly just succeed a natural 20 after another, no, I don't think they're gonna have a good time.
No.
So that's just what I do.
Let me say, like, when I was GM, I wanted to have, like, a screen. I didn't want my players to see what I roll.
Yeah.
But I had, like, one player who didn't like me having secrets. So I was,
Oh.
like, rolling my dice and, like, counting the numbers. And I didn't say what the number was that was going to be on the dice. And you succeeded, or you failed, or you got poisoned. And like that. But as a player, I did it when I was starting, like when I was 13. It was like, yeah, I managed.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
succeeding is, in the beginning at least, was very important.
Yeah, of course. You don't want to lose face in front of your friends,
No,
even when it's pretend role playing in your
Exactly.
parents'
Oh, definitely.
bedroom or whatever.
Yeah.
Why would you do it in your bedroom?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Because there was not big table enough.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I've never actually done anything like that. So for me, it's mostly like, well, whatever happens,
Yeah.
and I have to play along with
And
it.
that's fun too. I just very recently started playing a game called Torment: Tides of Numenera, which is a computer role-playing game.
Yes.
We are not talking about computer role-playing games, but it's interesting because they make a point of telling you that don't worry if you fail, because there will always be an outcome to your failure. And I don't know if you guys have ever played Planescape Torment.
No.
Nope.
It's a very story-driven game. It's a computer role-playing game, but you can go through it with just killing one enemy in the entire game. The rest of them you can talk to get past. And in this game, if you fail, something else happens. They've done a very good job of creating alternative routes and stuff like that, so you never feel like, I fucked it up. I have to redo it. And I think as a GM, if you want to tie that together, you want to have an open mind to these kind of things.
Yeah.
Like the scenario when we played Vampire and a were-rat got
Yeah.
into your crypt.
Right.
That was an interesting situation.
Yeah, fun.
Because one of the players actually died when we played it. I think partly that was a little bit of his own fault,
Probably.
but I did feel really bad about it, and I talked with him afterwards and be like, are you okay with this? And I tried, and he got to make a new character that was pretty cool. But I also realized that, holy fuck, this encounter, if I let it continue, it's not going to go well. So I was like, okay, I'm going to fudge the dice or not. And then your character did the best thing possible.
Yes,
You scared it away.
I'm so proud.
That was that was good because it took the decision away from
Yeah.
me. You helped the GM there.
Yeah.
You used your dread gaze, I think, and it just ran the fuck away from that.
Yep. It was really good.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever killed a player before that, actually.
Really?
No.
I haven't either. Oh yeah, I have. Because I've played 316 and then you kill people
yeah.
all the time.
And I've actually killed Johan once.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He deserved it.
Okay,
Fourth
sure,
edition.
fine.
He was a Dragonborn. But yeah, I think... Oh, sorry. I know it's personal. I don't kill dragons. I kill Dragonborn. They're not actually dragons.
Okay.
They're people who want to be dragons very badly. They're like dragon otherkin.
Okay, fine.
Let's not get into that.
No.
But I guess we can all kind of agree on that if you're playing a role-playing game, you're making a story together, right?
Definitely.
You're trying
Yes.
to have a fun time together. So do you guys like competitive board games or do you like cooperative board games the most?
I played like Game of Thrones board game like a couple of weeks ago. It was like Risk.
Yeah, it's
And-
competitive.
Yeah, it's competitive.
Yeah.
It was fun. I was Martell.
Ooh, I like those. The roses, right?
No, that's Tyrell.
No.
Martell
Tyrell.
are the Sunspear, Dorn.
Oh yeah, the Dorn.
right.
Oh, derp. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have like someone's most Tyrell, Lannister, Stark. Lannister got their butt kicked.
Yeah.
That sucks.
No, that's good.
All right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
No, but
Yeah.
it was a fun competitive game.
Yeah.
I like both, but more I like cooperative a lot
Yeah.
too. But this was like interesting
Yeah.
view on games.
I can see that.
I generally like competitive games because, I really like the competition for myself, but then I noticed that some people can't handle it, and then it's no fun at all. Okay, so you're one of those.
Yeah, I was putting it myself.
Yeah.
Toby knows.
Yeah.
We played a lot of board games and a lot of war games.
Yes.
I'm a
No,
really bad
figure
loser.
games.
Figurine games. I'm a really bad loser.
Me, I like both because but I'm not that competitive of a person. I'm more there to have fun, even if it's a competitive game or playing with other people.
For me, it's like time investment versus enjoyment of the game. And unfortunately, with Warhammer, you can spend 3 hours, and after half an hour, you've lost the game, and then you're slowly losing.
Can't you just say shockmate?
Yeah, but that's like taking away the joy of someone winning. It's kind of.
No, yeah, that's probably true in some cases. I mean, like, there's been some times when it's been really boring when it's already decided, like, turn 1 or turn 2 in Warhammer games. It's like, okay, I can't win this.
No,
And
that
it
sucks.
continues for like 6 or 7 turns.
Which is why we should all play Kingdom Death Torment. It's a cooperative game.
Okay.
It's you versus a lot of big monsters. We'll play it sometime later.
Would
But-
be fun.
Yeah, it is fun. It is fun.
Okay.
I promise. Do you know about it? Kingdom Death?
No, but I played like Descent or Descent.
Yeah, I've heard of
That's
that.
a cooperative.
Yeah.
It's like you in a dungeon and you go right, left, forward, and like,
And I feel like if you have the players versus the board game, it gets a little more chill, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, usually it's fine just being
Yeah.
competitive in a
Yeah.
group, but then you have those like 2 or 3 friends who you never play those games.
I don't
with.
get mean.
No,
No,
but
I just
played
get very
with you.
sour.
Yeah,
mean-
very salty.
Yeah.
We played what is it called again? Munchkin.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
played Munchkin.
Yeah.
Oh, but Munchkin is
Munchkin.
fast.
Oh,
yeah.
that
But some-
brings the worst out of people.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Because some
Yeah.
people can't handle it.
No.
But Munchkin is fast.
Yes, it is.
It's not
It's like
Warhammer, which
ripping
is-
a band-aid.
Yeah, Warhammer is just hours of agony. You're like, why am I doing this? I
Yeah.
painted all these figurines. I spent so many hours doing this, and I'm losing every time.
But I played Munchkin 2 days ago,
Yeah.
like Munchkin Fu, like Kung Fu version.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have one classmate who is such a sore loser like you, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He lost
I can take it.
both games.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
like, first game, I'm not gonna play this anymore. Oh, come on, it's just a game. Like
Yeah.
one
That bad. Yeah, sorry.
and coming and we played, and he was getting a lot of bonus good cards, and then he met like the biggest, meanest monster, and we like boosted
You
up.
fucked him over. Yeah.
We fucked him over and
Munchkin.
stabbed in the back.
Yeah.
But that's what Munchkin's all
Yeah,
about.
that's what Munchkin
Yeah,
is.
it
yeah.
is.
Get
exactly
a levels,
that.
treasures, and stab your butt in the back.
Yeah.
If there's something I am a little bit against is I'm not against like sore losers. It's like okay, I understand that some people
Yeah.
like take it really personal when they lose or anything, but bad winners
Bad
are
winners.
the worst. That is an entirely different
How
category.
do you find a bad winner? What's a bad winner?
A bad winner is someone that really gloats and like, I win and you're not that bad. I met many
Really?
people who are worse.
Really,
in many,
I'd imagine I'm
many
pretty
ways.
bad because I always feel bad when I'm winning.
I've met some really terrible winners, and those are probably the people I dislike the most. They think they're on top of everything. They're like the top of the hierarchy and blah blah blah, even if they only win a game.
So to all you listeners out there, stop being bad winners.
And bad losers.
So I'm gonna try to wrap this up because we've actually been way over time for this.
Yes.
But we had an interesting discussion, and I think definitely there's way more room for exploring this issue.
Oh, yes.
Different kinds of games too. Mm-hmm. And as usual, thank you for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and thank you very much for coming to our show.
Thanks for inviting
Yeah,
us.
thanks. It was really fun.
I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we'll see you again in the next week, right?
Oh, you betcha.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about character creation then.
Ooh.
Yeah.
an
So
interesting
looking forward to
topic.
that next week, and until that time,
Keep rolling.
keep rolling.
Keep rolling.
Keep rolling.
Thank you for listening to Swede Rolls. Your support means the world to us. The music you heard playing at the start and the end of this episode is Fireside Tales by Darren Curtis. The intent of this podcast is to discuss themes and issues in all manner of gaming, but primarily focused on the RPG genre. If you have any comments or feedback, we'd love to hear from you. Pay us a visit at swedenrolls.wordpress.com, where you can also learn about the people doing this podcast and more. For our Let's Play channel, check us out at youtube.com/Swede_Fighters. And until next time, keep rolling.